Starsector is the kind of game that pushes all the right buttons for me. Given the chance, I will start playing this game, and after what I swear is no more than an hour or two, it's suddenly 3 in the morning. The game is an open world space sandbox, and the premise is quickly explained. The player is the captain of their very own space fleet, looking for fame and fortune, but mostly fortune. There's no specific win condition, so it's mostly up to the player to set their own goals, and the game does not make it hard on the players to find things to do and ways to accomplish their goal. Anything from merchant trading between systems, dodging pirate raiders, to a mercenary hunting bounties and the enemies of their benefactors, to a colonial philanthropist surveying and claiming worlds for humanity. All of these present avenues for the player to accomplish whatever goal they might have set for themselves. Doing almost anything grants experience points, letting the player character level up and gain skill points. These skill points can be invested into skills that range from improving piloted ships to colonial administration. Regardless of what the player attempts to accomplish, the sector is a dangerous place, and trouble is an unavoidable part of life, and the game presents a wide range of options to deal with a hard-working spacer's problems. Guns. Lots and lots of guns. This game has dozens of unique ship types with their own shapes and handling. They can be outfitted with dozens of weapons and modules, allowing for hundreds of different combinations to create that perfect fleet needed for the job. The combat itself is well done. The controls are tight and responsive. It's a steep learning curve at the beginning, but once that is behind the player, the combat is a satisfying experience of maneuvering the ship to dodge enemy fire and bring the ship's guns in line with the opponent's ship, all the while having to balance the power requirements of weapons and shields to keep the reactors from overloading and turning the ship into a sitting duck in the middle of the firefight. Even if a player would rather not spend their time piloting ships, there are ways for them to avoid having to fly ships on their own. By specializing in command skills and hiring officers to pilot ships for them, while they hang back in carrier ships, giving orders, watching the enemy being ripped apart by swarms of fighter craft. The AI is competent. While it has trouble using specialized skills and equipment to their full effect, it makes good use of its remaining arsenal to fight off its enemies. New ships, weapons, and supplies can be acquired from other factions in the sector through cash money or possibly salvaged after battles and found in abundant systems. The various factions the players can interact with and possibly join are an interesting mix. They are all supposed to be the remnants of the old domain of humanity, which fell after some AI bullshit happened. Out of the ashes rose the hegemony, remnants of the domain's military, believing to be the rightful successors of the sector. To oppose them, the Persian League was formed. The Ludic Church are religious fundamentalists that believe technology is evil, that have a violent extremist branch, the Ludic Path, attempting to destroy all advanced technology by whatever means they deem necessary. The Syndrian Dictate, an independent dictatorship kept in power by cornering the fuel market. And finally, Tree Tachyon, highly advanced remnants of a domain megacorp. Anyone not identifying as one of these factions, depending on how aggressive they are, belong to either the Independents or the Pirates. While the lore might not matter much to the game, beyond being an excuse why everyone hates each other, and why so much old tech is lying around, I always enjoy having a good lore in the game. Getting explanations for mechanics in-universe is a nice extra to an already excellent game. The diplomacy is currently rather limited. The factions will occasionally declare war on one another, and after fighting for some time, they will declare a truce, without anything having really been accomplished. Interacting with a faction can change the player's reputation with said faction, for better or worse, opening the potential for a commission, granting the player a stipend and access to special ships in exchange for fighting the faction's enemies. Players can found their own factions by colonizing any unpopulated world. Other factions might try to harass the player's colonies if they have low reputation, disrupting the colony for a period of time. This can be avoided by investing money into defensive structures, otherwise colonies are rather passive, simply providing a constant revenue stream depending on the development and its population size. It's currently not possible to take over other colonies, but it's still possible to genocide people via orbital saturation bombardment, so that's okay. Losing track of time when playing the game is incredibly easy, since there's always some new bounty to collect, another planet to survey, or one more cargo delivery to complete to afford that new colony on the fancy planet, which will help finance the new battle carrier to help to hunt down bigger bounties. Though the lack of autosaves can make this annoying, losing 2 hours of gameplay by forgetting to save can be frustrating, even if getting shot out of the sky is not the end, but results in the player losing most ships in their fleet. There are more nitpicks to point out, like ships moving backwards just as fast as forward, rather aggravating when the AI decides to stay just outside of weapons range, without actually retreating from the battle, dragging it out unnecessarily. The AI having a weird habit of scattering fleets, resulting in single ships being surrounded and destroyed, or parts of the interface being confusing, especially the information and the protection screens. It is important though to keep in mind that the game is still in development, allowing a lot of these nitpicks to be fixed. As of making this video, the game is in the alpha stage and no release date has been set. Despite that, the game is well worth its asking price. There's plenty of content already available to keep players engaged for many hours, with more to come as the game gets completed. All this is not even mentioning the rather active modding community, adding new ships, factions, and even all new gameplay mechanics to the mix, even helping to fix current nitpicks or adding still missing features. All of this for an asking price of only $15 is an amazingly good deal. Anyone that is interested in open-ended sandbox games, looking for a new game to play and lose themselves in, needs to go and try this game right now. I guarantee you will not regret your decision. Side effects may include forgetting to eat food, being late for work due to a lack of sleep, or forgetting about your family. With this, I will bid you farewell, fellow gentlemen. Till next time, we meet again.